All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to Saitama Super Arena in Japan for RIZIN 40, the Super Atomweight Grand Prix Finals. The current Super Atomweight champ Seika Izawa coming in at 8-0, taking on Shiyu Park coming in at 9-4. Now this is a rematch. These two ladies first fought at Deep 104th Impact on October 23rd. Of 2021, so a little over a year later, these two meet again. Izawa came out ahead via decision in that first fight. Now, each of these two ladies had to beat two previous opponents to get this far in the Grand Prix. Izawa had to beat Laura Fontoura and then Anastasia Svetkivska, where Shiyu Park had to defeat Kana Asakura and then Ayaka Hamasaki. So these two ladies fought very hard to get into this Grand Prix final, so let's get into it. So first round, Izawa came forward. She was leading with feints and low kicks. Went for a takedown in the corner, but Park was able to beat the takedown and got out. Nice right hand by Park. Izawa again backed Park into the corner. She shot and scrambled to jump onto her back. Really nice chain attempt there, getting onto the back. Now Park defended. Izawa was able to lock on the body triangle onto the standing Park because Park didn't go down with it. She stayed on her feet. So she had Izawa on her back in the corner there. Izawa was trying to hunt for the rear naked but couldn't get it. She dropped down and the referee reset them. As soon as he started again, Izawa went straight onto Park's back again. Izawa just was punching the head of Park's back, she was punching Park's head from Park's back, but she couldn't really get in to get the choke. Izawa dropped down again, and Park landed a knee, and that was pretty much it for the first round. Second round, Park right hand. Izawa was looking for kicks. Park had a nice flurry of hands. Izawa shot. Park stopped it. Basically had Izawa's knees or head and arms tied up. She starts landing some knees. Some more knees land for Park. Some good offense by Park. Izawa was able to get control. Almost got to the back again, but the referee reset them because they were right up against the ropes. Some more knees by Park from inside. Izawa shot again, but Park sprawled on it. More knees by Park. But Izawa was holding on to that leg. She did not want to let it go. Izawa did get the takedown, but Park basically locked her down. They were stuck there in a corner. She locked Izawa down, didn't let her advance, and was able to stand back up from it. Izawa dives on the leg, and Park again resists it. And they're up against the ropes again. Izawa lands some knees to the thighs of Park. The referee stops the fight, separates them again because there wasn't enough action going on. It was just Izawa basically pushing Park into the corner. Izawa whiffed on an overhand. She shot into the corner again. Park sprawled. Izawa again just really holding Park into the corner, pushing her against it. Can't get her takedown. The ref separates them again. And I'll tell you what, these two stood and traded for that final 10 seconds. That was the best. That final 10 seconds of the second round was the best action, really, of the entire fight up to that point. Excuse me. So we go into the third round, and the fight was looking good. It was looking good at this point. Third round, Izawa landed a nice front kick. Park punches. Izawa tried to close for a takedown, but Park basically just dumps her to the ground. And Park keeps backing up. Izawa keeps butt scooting. And I swear, the referee let her butt scoot for 30 or close to 30 seconds. And it was obvious nothing was going to happen. So he finally stands him up. He stands Izawa up. Restarts him. Exchange of low kicks by both. Some punches from Park. Izawa throws a right. Park throws a 1-2. Izawa shot. And Park sidestepped. And this, you had to see. Park sidestepped the takedown, and Park took Izawa's back onto the ground. Park got the hooks in, started punching to the head, but Izawa was able to escape and scramble, got back to her feet, and then Izawa shoots for a takedown. Park sprawls. Izawa tried to jump guard, but Park stayed standing, pushed Izawa basically to the corner of the ropes, and Izawa tried to get a guillotine attempt, but she wasn't getting it tight, and Izawa was basically able to, Park was able to fight it just enough that she dumped Izawa to the ground, and Izawa no longer had it. Park lands a stomp and drops down, just starts landing multiple unanswered hammer fists and punches. It looked like Izawa might have been out for a second there, but Izawa goes for a leg lock attempt, but Park was able to escape and stand. Park missed the stomp. She went into Izawa's guard and then stood back up. Another stomp attempt, and that was basically the end of the fight. So it went to the judges. The first judge saw it for Park. Second and third judge saw it for Izawa. So your winner and Grand Prix, or 2022 RIZIN Super Atomweight Grand Prix winner, still undefeated, Seika Izawa. Now, you know I don't like to call decisions robberies. I'm not going to call this decision a robbery. This was definitely the wrong decision, though. I just don't see what Izawa did. From everything I've understood about RIZIN's rules and how they judge fights, I don't see what she did to warrant that decision. She didn't have a near finish. She wasn't really doing... The only damage she did was in the first round when she was punching Park in the head. Other than that, she landed no damaging shots. All she had was aggression and control, and that is less than 50% of RIZIN's scoring criteria. I just don't see it for Seika Izawa. I had to give it to Park. She was the only one actually landing any strikes in this fight. Other than a couple kicks from Izawa, she was the only one landing any strikes. She was the only one actually trying to do damage in this fight. She was the one that was closest to finishing. And some people are going to say, well, that guillotine choke was pretty tight. It really wasn't. If you've been in a guillotine choke, you know when one is on there tight and when one isn't. That guillotine wasn't close to finishing. And you could almost argue that Park had her TKO'd in the third. So I absolutely, positively do not agree with this decision. I knew it was going to be close. When they announced Park's name first, I'm thinking, oh, maybe they'll give it to her. But then the next two judges gave it to Izawa. And listen, you might get mad, you might call me a conspiracy theorist. RIZIN wanted a Japanese champion of this Grand Prix from the start. They set it up to make it easier for the Japanese fighters to make it through. And they were going to do everything they could to make sure that a Japanese champion emerged. You look at the quarterfinals of this. The Japanese fighters all got at least what were favorable matchups, at least on paper. They all got favorable matchups. Izawa versus Fontoura. Hamasaki versus Jag, who hadn't fought in years. Reina versus the woefully underexperienced Anastasia Svetkivska. And then Park against Kana Asakura, who stylistically was a challenge for Park on paper. Park was the only foreigner to get through the quarterfinals. Then in the semifinals, they brought Anastasia Svetkivska back in. They gave the least inexperienced fighter to the current champ in Izawa. Hamasaki got Park, and on paper, Hamasaki should have been able to beat Park on paper. So that was the matchup RIZIN really wanted. They wanted that third Izawa-Hamasaki fight in the finals. So RIZIN wanted to guarantee a Japanese champ, and they made sure they got it. That's just my theory, at least. You're free to disagree. Listen, I like Seika Izawa. I like her a lot. I don't think she won this fight. And man, she is woefully one-dimensional. Now, she has gotten away with it so far. I don't think she's going to get away with being that one-dimensional for much longer. I mean, by the second round, she was getting desperate to get the fight to the ground. I mean, that's all she was trying to do, was get the fight to the ground, because she couldn't stand up with Park. But she also couldn't get Park to the ground. One successful takedown against Park, and she couldn't keep her there. Yeah, Izawa is just woefully one-dimensional still. And that's a big problem for her moving forward. Everybody knows now. Now for Park, I was a little disappointed with her effort too. She kept letting Izawa back her up and into the corner. And you're the striker. You're supposed to be backing your opponent up into the corner. But Park was letting Izawa get her into the corner. But other than that, this fight wasn't... It was a little disappointing overall. I think they let failed takedowns go on for too long. The referee did break them up when it was necessary. But I think there could have been a little bit more, or at least earlier intervention. And I'm not normally for referee intervention. I think there were some spots where they could have broken up earlier than they did. But overall, the fight had a few exciting moments. But overall, the fight itself wasn't that exciting. Anyway, let's talk things to work on. So we'll talk Izawa first. Listen, she needs to work on her striking. Period. Dot. Her ground game is phenomenal. She doesn't need to work on it anymore. She needs to work on her striking, which is just not there, and she's not even trying to strike with her opponents. But if you can't get the takedown, you've got to give up on it, reset, and start working on your striking. She was just holding on to that leg for dear life and trying to press Park into the corner because she couldn't get the takedown, but she also was too afraid to let it go and strike. She has to work on her striking. There's no excuses not to work on her striking more. For Park, I already mentioned it. She was letting Izawa back her into the corner. She kept letting Izawa get her into the corner. She wasn't using her footwork well in this fight. Maybe she was too worried about the takedown. But she just got backed into the corner entirely. Too much in this bout. Now for fights to make, that's a big question. That's a good question. Izawa has yet to defend her strawweight title in Deep Jewels. Park could go back to Deep Jewels and fight at Atomweight. She needs to pick up a win. A lot of people are saying they need a third fight. And I could agree, because Izawa was lucky to get the decision in this fight. But I don't think anybody wants to see an immediate rematch right away just yet. I think if any of them needs more time to develop, I think it's Izawa, because Park has developed so well at this point that she developed more leading up to this fight than Izawa did. But so if I were Izawa, I'd be like, let me get another title defense under my belt before I rematch Park again. So fights to make, it's a hard question. Maybe send them both back down to Deep Jewels for a fight or two. They need to work, and they can't just fight for RIZIN all the time unless RIZIN's going to be able to bring in foreigners. That's definitely something the Japanese MMA scene needs to do. They need to bring in foreigners to get some more diverse matchups. Anyway, those are my thoughts. RIZIN 40, Seika Izawa defeats Shiyu Park via split decision to win the 2022 Super Atomweight Grand Prix. I don't agree with the decision, but hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you liked the vid, please give it a like, and while you're at it, go and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.